What's up, everybody? Blaze here, and today I thought we'd go over just a little bit of the Island Challenge from Pokemon Sun and Moon. The new trailer came out yesterday, I think it was, and it actually showed off a lot of new information. One of the more interesting things that it showed off, and I don't know how I feel about it just yet. I'm still kind of on the fence, but at the same time, I gotta say it's not what I expected. I mean, I heard rumors in the past, but it all revolves around the Island Challenge here. So the Island Challenge is basically what looks like a replacement of gym battles. So nothing's been confirmed just yet. Gym battles have to be in the game. I mean, there's no reason not to keep them in there. I think that changing that aspect of it is a risk. It's a risky move for sure, but I guess they don't have to be in the game, but at the same time, I feel like we're missing something with them not being there. So, now one thing and this is kind of something that I feel like, I'm contradicting myself a little bit, because one thing I feel like with Pokemon and this new game, Sun and Moon, is I feel like they have an opportunity to change a lot of things about this game. So when it comes to the way that this world works, it's an island that's kind of secluded away from civilization. So this island has potential to be a completely different experience. Maybe this culture treats Pokemon differently, and I've said this before in other videos. Maybe not on this channel, but I have said this before in other videos. I think that there's opportunity here for Game Freak to reimagine the way that we see Pokemon, because this civilization is not connected to the rest of the world, so they don't know how gym battles work. They don't know how the Elite Four works. Maybe they're new to the whole Pokemon experience in general, so this is kind of one of many changes that could take place. And again, nothing's been confirmed, but as far as we can tell, this may be taking the place of gym battles. So let's go through this trailer here a little bit and see what we can find. So obviously it's about being the strongest trainer. So there's the Island Challenge champion, and you have to go through a rite of passage, whether it's through a forest or through something else of that nature. So this is Mallow. This is your first island trial. Now there's a possibility here that it's going to be four different trials. Instead of 8 gym badges, there'll just be 4. So for me, that brings up a concern that maybe this game is going to be much shorter than the other games, and maybe they'll let you go through the trials again after you finish them and become the island champion, or maybe it'll open up a whole new adventure with gym battles and other things. But it's very hard to say, and I'm very concerned this game is going to be a lot shorter. As long as they change the storyline, I'm okay with it. So this is Mallow. She's a grass type. She's going to need you to find the 4 ingredients for me. So I don't know if that means you're going to be gathering things in this forest, or if you're going to be looking for Pokemon. Maybe you have to bring her a Pokemon or something like that. So that would be kind of neat, kind of a different take on the challenge. This next person is Lana. She is a water type, so kind of a different island challenge on a different island, I believe. She is, I think, Captain number 2 that you'll be facing off against. Again, not much is really known about what you'll be doing. They do show off some stuff later on in this trailer. So this is Sophocles. So he is electric type, trial captain. So maybe he'll have like a Pikachu or something like that, and then you'll have to fight his Pikachu or his Aura Pikachu or something. There's really no way to know for sure what this trial is going to be exactly, other than what's been shown so far. So this is Kyowe. He's a fire type. There is a giant volcano in I think the southeastern island. So obviously he'll be the one for that one, and probably the 4th trial captain. Maybe before you get to whatever main challenge is presented in this game. We don't know if it's going to be an Elite Four. We don't know if it's going to be some kind of champion that you have to defeat and dethrone. It's very, very hard to determine at this point. All they're showing off is the island captain. So this is actually very interesting information that we have. And as far as we can tell, um, as far as we know, gym battles have not been talked about yet. So as far as we can tell, gym battles may not even make it into this game. Again, that's concerning to me because gym battles kind of made the game a longer experience. Looking back to the original Red and Blue games, you know, you had to beat the gym leaders to progress into the story. There wasn't much of a story, which I loved. I thought that was great. And some people wanted more of a story, and that's okay. I mean, either way is fine. But, you know, with there being only 4 trials, you know, I would very much hate to be in a situation where I want to go to the next stage of the game, I want to find more Pokemon, I want to do this, that, or the other, but I have to beat this trial first, and this trial takes X amount of time to get through, and I just don't feel like doing it. Like, that's what I'm worried about. You know, I'm a big Legend of Zelda fan, and one of the things that got me in Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess and in Skyward Sword, is that you had to go find those spirits or whatever, and you had to put them in that little spirit, you know, chain link or whatever it was, and you know, there was like 8 of them, and you just had to go find them, and it just felt like pointless busy work. So the trials, I really, really want them to be relevant to the game and actually something that you want to do, not so much something you have to do to get a surf Pokemon, or not something you have to do to progress through the game, but something that, you know, maybe you have an option to do it, and that you should want to do it because the rewards you get from it are something that are going to help you tremendously. So that's what I'm hoping out of this island trial. So powerful totem Pokemon await at the end of each trial. So something I kind of hinted at in my video today on Pokemon Trading Card Game is that there are auras. So in this example, Totem Gumshoe it looks like what appears to be a boss battle. So in this, you see that his aura flared to life and its defense rose. So it's going to, maybe every trial is going to have a different type of aura that either increases its attack, its defense, maybe it increases its HP or something. This one just shows defense. It does have the ability, which we'll see in a minute, to summon extra Pokemon. So that's something that's actually kind of scary. So it called its ally Pokemon, and in this case it called down a little young goose. So Totem Pokemon can call for help, which is very interesting. However, you know, that kind of gives you like a 2 versus 1 kind of an aspect of the game. Honestly, to be completely honest, when you do doubles battles in Pokemon against other trainers, you don't even need to have 2 of your Pokemon go out against 2 of their Pokemon. You can probably use your 1 Pokemon to fight their 2 Pokemon, but the game forces you to use doubles. In this, it looks like it's going to be, you know, it's going to call forth an ally, and maybe it'll call forth an ally once every couple turns or something like that. And if you don't deal with the ally, you might get overwhelmed. Something like that could be very, very strategic in the way that you fight this battle. Of course, there are special moves like Surf and Razor Leaf and Earthquake that hit multiple enemies. So it might come down to whether or not you have one of those abilities on your Pokemon, and that's just going to destroy everybody on the team. So, you know, one thing that worries me is that this does seem a little bit shallow. I think they're going to announce more and more as things go on. With a gym battle, you know, if you're not prepared for that battle, you could lose. I mean, the Miltank in Pokemon, was it? Yeah, I think it was Pokemon Gold and Silver. The first gym is a normal type gym, and there's a Miltank there that's just ridiculously good. So if you're not prepared for that battle, it can knock you down. I think what I'd rather see in this game is that I'd rather see a kind of like what Black and White did and Black and White 2 did, is they actually allowed you to have a harder difficulty for the game. So if you wanted to go through the game casually and beat the gym leaders and do this, that, and the other, that's fine. And they allowed you to do that. But I would like either one of 2 things. Either at the beginning of the game you can select what difficulty you'd like to play on, and the rewards would be greater. And that's going to be hard to do because everyone's going to have the same experience playing through the storyline. So that's going to be kind of difficult to do. But maybe after you beat the game, there's a second story where you actually travel through the game again as though it's your first time, but you get to keep all your Pokemon that you've beaten the champion with or that you've beaten the game with. Maybe it's a different story, and maybe they disable your ability to, you know, fly to different towns, or they disable your ability to and what appears to be is that you're actually going to be using Pokemon as HMs this round. So you'll be using rideable Pokemon. I'll cover that in a later video, but that's what appears to be the case. So, you know, for me it seems like if they took away your badges or your reward for beating these trials, so like maybe if you beat a trial you're able to get a flying Charizard. Well, maybe if they take away your ability, they take away that flying Charizard after you beat the game and they let you go through a second story, you still have to go through every single town individually and all the Pokemon's levels are increased. I don't know if that's going to happen. You know, in the interest of making this video not too long, I don't want to go too much more in depth on that, but let's cover the rest of this trailer here real quick. So this Aura Pokemon can summon a ally for help, so that's kind of cool, and they can do, you know, you'll be attacked. So clear each island's trials and battle the Kahunas. So I believe, I don't know if the trial captains are the Kahunas. I would imagine they are, but they do show off the, you know, Hala here, who is, I think this is the professor that gives you your first Pokemon. Or not the professor, but maybe an assistant or something like that. He definitely is near the professor, and he is the Kahuna of Mallow Island. So I believe that said you'll battle him. Is that right? Did I read that right? Did it say you'll battle him? And battle the Kahunas, yes. So you will be battling the Kahunas, which after you beat the trial, I guess it determines whether or not you're worthy to take on the Kahunas. So, you know, I'm wondering how that's going to work out in the long run. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I feel like, you know, I feel like there's only 4 trials, and that's going to get me, because I don't want this game to be short. I want it to be, you know, about as long as the original Red and Blue were, and maybe have some extra quests at the end of the game. And maybe it's the best of both worlds. Maybe they're shortening the main story so that they can actually increase the story after you beat the Elite Four. So, you know, we're going to have to wait and see how this is going to play out. So far, I'm a little bit on the fence. I'm a little bit apprehensive about there not being any gyms anymore. But again, that does fall in line with the things that I was hoping this game would accomplish. So if there are not gyms in this game, that just means that this culture does have a different view and a different way to use Pokemon on these islands, since they are secluded. So, you know, so this is so far what we have. This is all the information that we're given on this battle system so far. Definitely post in the comments below what your thoughts are. If anything I said struck a chord with you and made you spark a thought, hit that up in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Also, like my channel, subscribe, or like this video, subscribe to my channel, because I do videos every day, Monday through Friday. I cover a variety of topics, and I play a Pokemon trading card game online if you're a fan of the trading card game. And I'll be posting some more videos throughout the week about Pokemon Sun and Moon with the new trailer just got announced. So definitely hit me up, guys, and I will see you next time.